What's up, A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live? It is the NoDat app pregame show. We are underway as we are now less than 30 minutes from kickoff. And Jared says, come on, you're late. No, we're not. 30 minutes before kickoff every week for the Titans for our pregame show presented by the NoDat app as the Titans and Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football, the first of a Monday Night Football doubleheader in Buffalo. We got Buck Rising up there in Buffalo covering the game all over our social media. So make sure you follow us everywhere at A to Z Sports on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, also on our Facebook page as we go live every pregame, halftime, and postgame show throughout the Titan season. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. All of our Titan Game Day Live is brought to you by a handful of our great sponsors this season, but the pregame show is the NoDat app pregame show powered by NoDat. Download the NoDat app and discover your city on your terms. NoDat makes it easy to connect with local businesses and events that matter to you, so you never have that FOMO feeling if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. The link to download the app is right there in the description. Also brought to you by Mr. Good Roof, your locally owned roofing, gutters, and window specialist. Buddy Allen Carpet One, always giving you a free in-home measures and estimates on your flooring at BuddyAllenCarpet1Nashville.com. Crumble cookies made fresh daily with over 175 flavors every week. Get the app at Crumble Cookies there in the BetMGM app. Download the BetMGM app. Use our code ATOZ Sports. Get a risk-free bet on pro football up to $1,000 with your first bet. Zach, finally, we've been waiting all Monday for Monday night, and the Titans are trying to get in the win column with an opportunity to kind of get a redo on last week because the AFC South is as ugly as it could possibly look, with the Jags the only team so far having a win. The Colts and Texans have a tie and losses to go along with that tie. So welcome in. Hope your Monday's been going, and let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah, well, it's a big opportunity for the Titans in a primetime game early on in the season, week 2, to silence, I think, some NFL fans because the line is already moving, and it's not moving in favor of the Titans because the line keeps going up. I've seen that on a couple of books. We obviously bet on BetMGM. And look, I think that for what the Bills did to the defending Super Bowl champs in LA, spoiled their, the banner reveal. Josh Allen played really, really good. And a lot of people have picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl and Josh Allen to be the MVP. But notoriously in big-time games, Derrick Henry steps up, and Derrick Henry has king-type nights. And those king-type nights usually go for over 130 yards, let's just say, and 2 touchdowns. That's usually his king-type nights, and usually that keeps teams at bay. I will be curious to see how the Titans go about this game. Is it ball control and good defense? Are they going to kind of air things out and release Austin Hooper a little bit more than they did in week 1, get Treylon Burks and Robert Woods involved, and obviously 22. But you got a hostile crowd in Buffalo. They've been smashing tables since 9 a.m. They've been drinking beer and eating buffalo wings. This is a AFC showdown early on in the season. This is must-watch TV on Monday night.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking at this Titans team, and I really do think this is an opportunity for a second first impression on this season because, you lose out on that Giants game. If you beat the Giants, you walk into Buffalo tonight, and you're thinking you're 1-0. Everybody else in the AFC South has a blemish, and the Titans could get a bonus win over the AFC favorite in the Buffalo Bills. But now you kind of have to have it because 0-2, we all know the stats since 2000, only 17 teams who have started 0-2 have ever made the playoffs. And the Titans do not want to be in that stat moving forward because it is an uphill climb. But the AFC South does make it better of knowing that the Colts, the Texans, and the Jags all have their struggles and that the Titans can fix a lot of the problems from last week. Christian Fulton's out tonight with a hamstring, but I do believe the 65-yard touchdown he gave up is fixable. Saquon Barkley running and gaining nearly 200 yards in total offense, I think a lot of it's fixable because of lack of discipline on the Titans' run fits. I think the offensive play calling mishaps from Todd Downing are fixable. Will he admitted to it being wrong last Friday, but does he actually fix it today? We'll find out what happens with that. But I do think it's a positive opportunity for Derrick Henry to get back to what we used to see him as, and that is a dominant running back. He had an okay game against the Giants. He fell flat in the second half. We were all hoping we'd get free donuts at the donut.
He had his moments. I would say
he had, but in the first half, you felt like he was picking up on that momentum. He had that 18-yard run, another nice run. He had a couple things in the second half called back from holds, but he just never broke through. That big play never happened. The explosive Derrick Henry moment never happened. And against the Bills, under the lights, when the sky is dark, the last 2 years, we've had probably some of the biggest Derrick Henry moments. 2 years ago, the best 3-yard play run that never actually officially counted in the stiff arm to Josh Norman. And then last year, he busts out a 70-plus yard touchdown run in Nissan Stadium to help the Titans get back in this. So can Derrick Henry show up again tonight and show the rest of the NFL world that he is back and he is still that guy?
Yeah, and something that has been peppering our show and, I think social media all around Titans fans is, how is Todd Downing's game plan going to improve? How are you going to learn from some of your mistakes in week one where you do have the opportunity to get a first down on 3rd and 1? What play do you actually call? Time and clock management at the end of the game with Mike Vrabel. Defensively, not getting comfortable because of all of your success through the first 2 quarters of play and all the sack dances you're doing, and transfer that over into quarters 3 and 4 and still stay in your run lanes and still make sure that Josh Allen doesn't get a 3rd down on 3rd and 9 with his legs, right? Because he does that very, very well, and he did that quite a bit in LA last week.
Yeah, A to Z Sports here live on our pregame show. We go through this a few different ways. We have a couple segments brought to you by our title sponsor of our pregame show, the NoDat app. And then we'll get to Mr. Goodroof, who's got the good matchup, before we get to our BetMGM prediction. So, Zach, let's go ahead and do this to start off our Titan Game Day Live pregame show. What do you know that the Titans will do well today versus the Bills? What do you know that the Titans will do well today versus the Buffalo Bills? We want your answers in here. And first, let me tell you guys about that NoDat app. It's actually a really cool story. I really like hearing this from Erica, who created the NoDat app, and it's taking off. So you should download the NoDat app in the description on YouTube, on Facebook, right there in that link. Download it for either Apple or Android. It's created by a Nashvilleian, created by a family of Titans fans. Don't be the last to know that. NoDat makes it easy to connect with local businesses and events that matter to you. Discover your city on your terms. Close out the useless search tabs and say goodbye to invasive advertising on your mobile device. NoDat goes based off of what you want, what you search for in your search history, not what advertisers think you want. And so download that NoDat app. They also are very careful and very serious with what they do with your information. Hint, they don't share it to anybody else. So download the NoDat app today. NoDat. So what do you know that the Titans will do well tonight against the Buffalo Bills? Zach, I'll send you to the chat.
Well, we got sack from Little Kilo.
Okay.
That's what he know that. Josh Allen on his back. And you saw, the Titans get after the quarterback last week in the first half for Daniel Jones. Can they wrangle Josh Allen? I think that will be something to look for. Defense coming in there. Rashad Weaver on the other side of Bud Dupree. How does he follow up his performance with what he was able to accomplish? Know that the King will reign supreme tonight from Juan. Run the ball from Danny. So rush the passer from Justin coming in there. So I think running and defense are important. I do. But I think ultimately what I know that is that Austin Hooper has got to get involved. He has to. You got him in free agency. He's much better than Anthony Ferkser of last year. You see all of training camp, this connection with Ryan Tannehill. And look, I know I lost $50 on it last week to BetMGM. I got another $50 free bet. I probably should go back to back and just, keep keep pounding the rock with the Hooper over yards, but you have to get your tight end involved because that is going to open up a lot of different things in the offense. You've got to key on Hooper early, get some third downs, get some 7-yard gains, get a hitch route in the middle of the field, and get him lined up on a linebacker and an option route to go left and right and get rhythm with Ryan Tannehill. And I think that will do wonders for Treylon Burks possibly going deep, Robert Woods running his routes, and Derrick Henry running the football. But I know that Hooper has got to be a part of this game plan for the Titans to have success.
Yeah, and crunch time, I think, has the frustration of most Titans fans. Why Hooper? The Titans have Swain. He can block much better, with a very angry, sarcastic emoji there from crunch time. Yeah, it is frustrating because I felt very good about Austin Hooper's involvement in this offense. I felt like that was one of the more confident things I could say about the Titans passing game, is that Austin Hooper is going to be relied upon to be a go-to guy, whether it's in the red zone, down the field, in the seam, on third and shorts, all those types of things. I thought Austin Hooper would be that for Ryan Tannehill, and he was not. His only target came in that last drive there. B15 says, can't blame Hooper, need to use him and get him the ball. I don't disagree with that. Here's another Matthew says, I know that the Titans will run, pass, and punt at some point tonight. That is absolutely probably true, as what Todd Downing has shown there. So, yeah, I what do you think, though? Like, Zach, because Austin Hooper is a really athletic, well-rounded, nuanced, skilled tight end, but the Bills have Milano and Edmonds, who are two of the more athletic sideline to sideline with good coverage skills type of inside linebackers. Like, do you expect Austin Hooper to have success, or is this like something you don't care? You just want them to force it to it?
Well, no, it's depth of the offense. I think that's what everybody is trying to find, is if you can get him to key on Hooper early, that's what I want. I want to see Hooper with some targets, some a 6-yard hitch, turn around, the ball be there, him catch, go upfield, maybe for a first down, or set up a 2nd and 2. That's what I'm looking for, because those side-to-side linebackers will stop helping on other things, which opens up Robert Woods and Treylon Burks, which I also think have to have an impact within this offense. But I thought Austin Hooper could really help Ryan Tannehill progress in this offense and get to his reads. It's not force feeding. Austin Hooper, I don't think, is a guy that you force the ball to throughout the course of the game. But I think that Austin Hooper needs to help this Titans offense. I think he can help this Titans offense, but you got to draw up some plays for him, like they did Robert Woods at the very beginning of game 1, right? That was a designed play to Robert Woods.
Yeah.
All offenses have designed plays. I mean, Travis Kelce and George Kittle and the tight ends of this world, Darren Waller, I mean, they have plays drawn up for them. Go into that Hooper and grab a play, and I just want to see him get involved and get a rhythm for this offense, because I think it will help others.
Yeah. Caleb says, I know that I don't want to see Cody Hollister. I think we'll talk about Josh Gordon here in a second, because we do have some news on Josh Gordon that we'll talk about that we did not have this morning, the last time that we were live on this A to Z Sports. Zach, I know that the Titans defense knows they have to force turnovers, multiple, plural, 2 minimum turnovers. If they want to win this football game, force a fumble, get a pick, create turnovers. And so I know that the Titans will go after the Bills' offensive ball carriers, punching at the football, diving at it, scraping at it, ripping at it, doing everything they possibly can to get the football out. If it's Josh Allen in the pocket going after his throwing arm and trying to dislodge the football, they have to get multiple turnovers tonight, because you're going to give up yards. In the last 2 games, the Titans have beat the Bills, and Ben's mad at me because apparently I don't remember the fact the Titans beat the Bills the last 2 years. But the Bills offense racked up tons of yards and a lot of points last year, and then tons of yards the year before on Tuesday Night Football. But turnovers were a game changer and momentum swinger. So you've got to go after the football. And I know that the Titans will be doing that tonight to try to force those early.
Something I was looking at compared to last week's game and what they need to improve. Now, they got 4 first downs based on penalties, but they were 3 for 11 on third down. They were really bad on third down, but they had their scoring drives. They didn't really need a lot of third downs. It was first down, second down, first down, second down. Those third downs, and we all know the 2 3-and-1s that they didn't convert out of, the 3 for 11. They've got to be better in that aspect, but that's where you turn turnovers into points, right? Those are the little things. If you can get turnovers, you get field position. The third down conversions change 3 points into 7 points, and that's the type of points that you're going to have to score to keep up with this Bills offense.
Yeah, and Derek says the Bills racked up 16 total points 2 years ago. That was the COVID year on Tuesday night. Yeah, because remember, Malcolm Butler had a big interception that swung some momentum, and the Titans defense got after that. So A to Z Sports here live on this Monday. We're 14 minutes away from kickoff. The broadcast showing Derrick Henry walking in with the icy whites and the navy blue helmets, getting ready. The Titans have not started 0-2 in a season since 2012. So I believe Mike Vrabel might have still been playing in the NFL in 2012. Either that or that was his first year at Ohio State as an assistant. So it's been a long time since the Titans have been 0-2. Zach, let's get to this segment. You brought up Austin Hooper, which I like it, but Josh Gordon is also active tonight for the Titans too. So in our second segment for the pregame show is who's got the good matchup today for the Titans, presented by Mr. Goodroof. Could it be Josh Gordon here of making his Titans debut? He is active after being called up on the practice squad. But the question we want to ask here is who's got the good matchup for the Titans, presented by Mr. Goodroof. They are your locally owned roofing, gutters, and window specialist. Find out how you or someone you love could win a free roof during the holidays at MrGoodroof.com. They're fully insured, licensed, and bonded, have received stellar A+ rating on Better Business Bureau, locally owned and operated in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Storms happen, especially in Middle Tennessee. We know that. Let Mr. Goodroof come out to inspect your roof for free. They work directly with all the insurance companies, make the process easy and as stressless as possible for you. So MrGoodroof.com is where to go. Zach, who's got the good matchup today for the Titans? Offense or defense?
I'm not going to say Josh Gordon.
But it's interesting. He is active.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah,
it's interesting. That's all I said. It's interesting.
That's not the guy I'm looking for. The guy who I am targeting, which I think is very impactful, is a guy who is not playing. Honestly, I think the fact that Gabe Davis is officially out is huge. That matchup, Gabe Davis has been coming on for the last couple of games, dating back to that shootout in Kansas City. Last week, he had a good game. He had 80-plus yards and a score in L.A. I think him being out is massive to kind of combat that Fulton is out, right? So that whole matchup setup, look, I don't know if anybody can stop Stephon Diggs on this defense. I just think he may be too good. Sometimes guys are too good. But Gabe Davis, I do think, was a force that Josh Allen was starting to utilize. I think that's a good thing. Speaking of Mr. Goodroof, a very good thing for this Titans defense that Gabe Davis is out.
Yeah, it is. I think it's huge. Remember this morning we did our what's your confidence level in the Titans winning this game? I was at 3.5. I did say if Gabe Davis was out, I'd bump up to a 4.
You're now at a 4.
I'm at a 4 now.
I'm still in at a 5.5.
So Gabe Davis didn't change that at all for you? He was worth a 0.5 point for me.
Yeah, that's your line. That ain't my line.
I'm just asking. You just went on this whole thing about Gabe Davis, but he doesn't change your confidence.
No, it doesn't change. Well, because look at where you're changing it from. You're changing from a 3.5 to a 4. I would have to change it from a 5.5 to a 6. And I'm not 6 confident.
You don't have to go 0.5. You could go 0.2, 0.3 if Gabe Davis helps you out a little bit.
Again, I think it is a small deal. I think it is definitely a deal. But at the end of the day, it's Caleb Farley that's got to recognize, and he's going to be matched up against Stephon Diggs and some of these other wide receivers. Can he come to play and prove his first-round pick stature from a couple of years ago?
Oh, and I think it's interesting, too, with Farley versus Diggs, because the Titans will play left and right corners. They won't flip them. And Christian Fulton got basically all the reps at the right cornerback position of the defense throughout training camp. it was McCreary and Farley switching at left. So who's going to play the right? I kind of feel like they're going to put Roger McCreary over there and keep Caleb Farley on the left to keep him more comfortable to protect him. So do the Bills, I'm curious in that chess match, do they put Stephon Diggs on the right side of the offense to go up against Caleb Farley? Or do they just do it like normal and say, hey, you got a rookie out there and a guy who's basically a rookie, go get it. I'm curious about that too.
Yeah, and look, that's the defensive matchup. We've got a couple of people coming in on who's got the goods. Phillips versus anybody from Demetrius. That's pretty good. But I saw, let's see if I can find it. I saw Simmons versus Saffold. That could be one to watch.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but the broadcast is right in front of me on my TV, and they showed the Titans coming out of the tunnel, and Jeffrey Simmons had this look on his face that he was about to go mess stuff up. Like it was like a mischievous smile of, I'm about to go have so much fun creating chaos.
Well, when you get to Josh Allen, you got to get him down.
Yeah, but somebody commented earlier too that it feels like it looks like a playoff atmosphere. The Titans, from what I just saw them, I feel like they're ramped up, especially the defense that they were showing there. I feel like the defense views this as a chance to prove themselves on national TV, kind of like they did against the Rams a year ago. Remember the Rams, everybody thought the Titans defense couldn't hold a candle to their offense, and Jeffrey Simmons came out and played Aaron Donald on the same field that night on Sunday Night Football. I feel like Jeffrey Simmons is elevating himself for tonight's moment.
Well, this is about I can sum this up pretty quick. This is about offensive execution for the Tennessee Titans. I believe that the Bills defense can play adequate enough. I believe that the Bills offense can score on the Titans defense. Maybe not 30 to 45 points, but they can score. This is going to be about Ryan Tannehill, Todd Downing, and Derrick Henry. It is those guys and how they utilize this offense. Can you continue to protect Ryan Tannehill? But that ultimately, in this matchup, in this game, this early, that I think is the tell of the tape. Because anybody can beat anybody. I mean, the Titans are 10 and a half point dogs. They can still come in here and compete, but can they compete for 4 quarters? Can they get a lead and not relinquish it? Yeah. Can they play from behind? I mean, these are tests that this particular team has not gone through. And offensively, you got to still find out what you have in your first round pick, Treylon Burks, and you traded for Robert Woods for a damn reason. Use it.
Yeah. So my good matchup for tonight, presented by MrGoodRoof.com, is I'm going to go with, I think this is more of a psychological matchup. I'm going to go with Ben Jones, because last week in week 1, the Bills sacked Stafford 6 times and blitzed 0 times. Last season, the Bills blitzed Ryan Tannehill on 44% of the snaps during that game Monday night. So that's obviously a huge gap, 0 to 44%. So what's the in-between? If the Bills believe they can get home without blitzing, I think Ben Jones is very instrumental on getting the 2 new starters, including the rookie on the right tackle and Aaron Brewer at left guard, up to date to see where they're at and where the protection needs to shift, change, all that stuff for what the Bills could do. So I'm going to say Ben Jones has a good matchup today for facilitating the pass protection overall that held up really well against the Giants last week.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a valid point. You got to protect 17, and you have to protect Ryan Tannehill. He is he's got to be hungry for a win. He doesn't want to start this season 0-2. We talk about all the pressure going into this year for Ryan Tannehill, and then if you're 0-2, then you got the Raiders who are also 0-2 on the horizon. This is a huge matchup that I think, and I also think. We talked a pre-show before this morning show at 8 a.m. about it's too early to talk about identities of football teams, but this is a tone-setting game of the season. It's not an identity. I don't think we're there for this particular roster. I don't think we've found out enough, and I think it will take a couple more games. But it damn sure can set a tone to beat. I think in all the power rankings that I've seen, the Bills have been number 1 because of their performance and because of all the hype going into this season. This can really kind of settle all of that noise down and say, it's tough to beat the Tennessee Titans after they've just lost and in prime time. They've done it twice in 2 years on prime time against the Bills. They're trying to make that third time 3 in a row.
A to Z Sports here live. We are less than 5 minutes away from kickoff, which means it's prediction time. Get it ready. What's your prediction? We do score predictions on this show. We don't just say the Titans win or the Titans lose. No, we do flat out score predictions. So what are your score predictions today? The Titans are 10-point underdogs at BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app, use our code ATOZ Sports, and you get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 on pro football for that first bet after your first deposit. So visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions. Prediction time, Zach. I'll go ahead and let these predictions fly in here. I did take 3 bets at BetMGM pregame, and it was all anytime touchdown. I failed with my Austin Hooper prop last week, so I'm changing it up the strategy here. I went Stephon Diggs, anytime touchdown, plus 115. I went Ryan Tannehill, anytime touchdown, plus 500, which means rushing touchdown for Ryan Tannehill. And then Isaiah McKenzie of the Bills at plus 220. Those are my 3 bets. But Zach, what are the comments saying about their score predictions for today?
Well, here, this is my same game parlay. I got 3 picks. I teased it up where the Titans, I have plus 10.5. I have Derrick Henry as an anytime touchdown, and I have Ryan Tannehill over 219.5 passing yards. So those 3, I think it was at plus 400 or somewhere around there. I was about to say, that's
like plus 400, plus 500, because all those are pretty close to even, right?
Exactly. And so I put $50 down on that to see if I can win a couple $100.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to work, but I do know that this is a tough prediction for these fans because we got a lot of Titans fans in here, but we also have, you got to be truthful to yourself. You're going up against a really good football team in Buffalo. Terrence says Titans 31-28. Hate to say it from Eric, but Bills 35-14, 33-30 for the Titans from Robert. Justin says 34-31 Titans, 28-21 Titans.
Man.
Guy says 32-24 Bills, 31-23 Bills from Gabriel. We've got 37-23 from Derek for Bills. This is going to get ugly.
That's
Matthews
2 touchdowns
going Bills.
right there, yeah.
Max goes Titans 24-27. Bills win 34-24. Crunch time. There's some Bills. There's Wilson goes 28-24. Titans over the Bills. Austin, I will let you go first. What is your prediction?
Zach, I predict the Titans go to 0-2 for the first time since 2012. I think tonight the Bills win 31-21. Give me that push. 31-21. I think
that's why I did 10.5. That's why I bought. I bought the juice.
There you go. But yeah, I think 31-21 sounds right. The Titans can score some offensive points, a little bit more. I think they have to finish in the red zone and score touchdowns, not kicking any of these field goals like they did last week. But 31 points, it's going to be really hard to keep the Bills under 30 points at home. That's where I feel like it's a pretty good defensive performance. If the Titans lose that game, it's okay. I don't have any problems with the Titans losing 31-21 in Buffalo week 2. I think that's totally fine. There's zero freak out for me if that ends up happening.
28-23 Bills. I don't know enough. This is not you talk about expert prediction. We cover this football team. We've been around this football team. You ask Mike Vrabel about this football team. I just don't, and this is kind of where I kind of came into this season. I don't know enough about their new pieces to trust them yet. They can earn my trust and a lot of people's trust tonight by winning this football game. But I'm 28-23. I think the Bills win. But they got to muck this thing up, and they've got to control the football if they are going to win. Containing Josh Allen is very, very tough. You got Jim Kelly sitting there talking to Bills Mafia.
At least it's not The Rock.
Right? Well, yeah, that's L.A. Well, I mean, look, I get amped up when Dwayne Johnson starts to speak.
I'm tired of it.
I think this is 28-23 Bills. I hate to say that, but I got to be honest with what we know. And I know or feel that the Buffalo Bills are better than the Titans, at least at this juncture in the season.
All right, looks like the Bills are getting the ball first. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you guys at halftime. Appreciate it. See you soon.